Here is something that will sound completely wrong. The single biggest reason most people never build wealth has nothing to do with money, not their salary, not their savings rate, not the stock market, not even the economy. It is their brain, the same biological machinery that kept your ancestors alive on the African savanna, is quietly, systematically, and completely destroying your financial future right now. And here is what makes that terrifying. Your brain is not malfunctioning. It is working exactly as designed. It is just running software that was written for a world that no longer exists, in a financial system it was never built to understand. You have felt this before. You make a plan. You are going to save more, invest, stop spending money you do not have, and then something happens, a sale, a social event, a bad week, and the plan collapses again, and you tell yourself you just lack discipline, that you are bad with money, that wealth is for other people. What if you were not bad with money at all? What if your brain was simply never designed for the world money created? By the end of this video, you will understand the invisible biological mechanism that has been running your financial life from the background, the researchers who discovered it, the system that exploits it every single day, and the specific moment your relationship with money can permanently change. This is not a budgeting video. This is not a list of financial tips. This is something far more important than that. This is the conversation no one ever had with you about why the money problem keeps happening, no matter how hard you try to fix it. If you are someone who has tried to get your finances together and keeps hitting the same invisible wall, hit subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if any of this is already hitting home. Every week, Next Gen IQ goes deeper into the truths about money that most people spend an entire lifetime learning too late. Let us go. Part 1. The ancient brain in a modern money world. 2.5 million years ago, your ancestors faced one financial decision every single day. Survive today or don't. There was no tomorrow to plan for, no retirement, no compound interest, no portfolio diversification. The brain that evolved to solve that problem was optimized for one thing and one thing only. Get the reward now. Avoid the threat now. Do not wait. Waiting gets you eaten. Psychologists call this hyperbolic discounting. The technical term for something you have experienced your entire life without knowing it had a name. It means your brain does not weigh present rewards and future rewards equally. A neuroscientist named David Laibson at Harvard University spent years studying this exact mechanism. What he found was not a character flaw, it was a feature. Your brain is biologically wired to value immediate rewards far more than future ones, even when the future reward is objectively larger. His research showed that the part of your brain that activates when you swipe a card or make an impulse purchase is the same ancient reward system that lit up when a hunter-gatherer found food. The immediate dopamine hit, the now win, and the part of your brain responsible for long-term planning, the prefrontal cortex, has to fight that ancient system every single time you try to save money. Every single time. Think about the last financial decision you made that you regretted, the purchase you did not need, the investment you kept putting off, the savings goal you abandoned after one hard month. That was not weakness. That was biology. And here is where the story gets darker, because someone figured this out, and they built an entire system around it. Part 2. The machine built to exploit your brain. In 1957, a researcher named James Dusenberry introduced something called the relative income hypothesis. The idea was quiet but devastating. Human beings do not measure their financial well-being in absolute terms. They measure it relative to the people around them. You are not trying to reach a number. You are trying to keep up with a moving target. Your ancient brain, the one wired for social survival, understands that being visibly lower in the social hierarchy was once a death sentence. Status was safety. Falling behind the group meant exile. Exile meant death. Fast forward to today. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a prehistoric social threat and someone in your neighborhood driving a newer car. It registers both as danger, and so it pushes you to spend, to signal, to keep up, to consume in a way that broadcasts to the group, I am not falling behind. I belong here. I am safe. The advertising industry worked this out long before the neuroscience did. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology found that luxury brand advertising does not primarily sell products. It sells the feeling of social safety. The implicit message is never about the product. It is always about who you become in the eyes of others by owning it. And your ancient brain buys that message every single time, because for 2.5 million years, that message kept your ancestors alive. But here is the mechanism no one shows you. The wealth gap in developed economies is not random. Economist Thomas Piketty spent decades compiling data across 2 centuries and multiple continents. His finding was precise and uncomfortable. The return on capital, the reward for owning assets, consistently outpaces wage growth. Not sometimes, not in certain periods, consistently. Which means the financial system is not neutral. It is structured to reward people who already own assets, while the people who only own their time fall further behind. Not because they are lazy, not because they lack discipline, but because the game itself has a direction, and most people are running the wrong way on the track without knowing the track exists. You have probably felt this. You work harder, you earn more, and somehow the gap between where you are and where you imagined you would be never seems to close. That feeling is not an illusion. It is an accurate reading of a real structural force operating on your life. But knowing the force exists changes everything, because you cannot escape a trap you cannot see. So if your brain is wired for the wrong game, and the system is designed to keep you spending, what exactly does escaping that look like? Part 3. The moment the wiring changes. In 1972, a psychologist named Walter Mischel ran an experiment at Stanford University that became one of the most referenced studies in behavioral science. He gave children a single marshmallow. The offer was simple. You can eat this now, or you can wait 15 minutes and get 2. What Mischel found over the following decades changed how researchers understood human decision-making forever. The children who waited, who resisted the ancient brain's demand for now, did not just get more marshmallows. They built better lives, better academic outcomes, better financial outcomes, better health, better relationships. But here is what almost every retelling of that study misses. The children who waited were not simply more disciplined. They had been given a reason to believe the future reward would actually arrive. Their environment had taught them that waiting pays off. Their ancient brain had been given new information, and it updated its strategy accordingly. Pause for a second. Think about someone in your life. A friend, a sibling, someone you care about who is stuck in exactly the trap you just discovered. Share this video with them right now, because the wealth within is not something you keep to yourself. This is the transformation most financial advice misses entirely. It does not tell you to try harder. It tells you to change the evidence your brain is using to make decisions. Your ancient brain is not broken. It is rational. It is updating based on the information it has been given. If your financial environment has consistently told your brain that the future is uncertain, that savings disappear, that plans fall apart, then your brain will rationally choose now over later every single time. This is what behavioral economist Richard Thaler, who won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2017, spent his career proving. The architecture of your choices matters more than your willpower. Change the architecture, and you change the decision, not through discipline, through design. He called it choice architecture, the invisible structure of options around you that makes some decisions easy and some decisions feel nearly impossible. And here is where the personal mirror appears in your life right now, today. If your paycheck hits your main account before anything is saved, your ancient brain treats all of it as available reward. It will spend it, not because you are undisciplined, because it sees a resource and it is built to consume resources now before someone else takes them. That is the savanna operating inside your online banking app. But if you automate a transfer to a separate savings or investment account the moment your pay arrives, your brain never sees that money as available reward in the first place. The architecture changed. The behavior follows. Without willpower, without discipline, without the daily internal fight that exhausts most people into financial surrender. This single structural shift, this one change in how money moves before your ancient brain can see it, is the behavioral equivalent of removing the marshmallow from the room entirely. And yet, no one taught you this. Not in school, not in most families. You were handed the ancient brain, dropped into a modern financial system, and told to just try harder. The game was never fair, but you can learn the rules. Part 4. The wealth that was always within reach. Now you know this, and knowing it changes the question. The question was never, why can't I save money? The real question has always been, what information is my brain using to decide what is safe? And what does that architecture need to look like for my brain to choose wealth? That is a solvable problem. It is not a character question. It is an engineering question. If you are someone who is ready to stop fighting their own biology and start designing for it, then this channel was built for you. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss what comes next. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is the one financial habit you have tried to build and kept failing to stick to? I want to know exactly where the ancient brain is showing up in your life. And if this video gave you even one truth worth knowing, a thumbs up takes 2 seconds, and it means everything. The wealth within is already there. Next Gen IQ is just the map. Now you understand the mechanism, the ancient brain, the system built to exploit it, the architecture that changes everything. But this creates a new question. Because changing your financial architecture requires understanding something most people get completely wrong about money and time. Specifically, the one mathematical force that makes starting this process early worth more than any amount of discipline later. Most people hear about this force, nod their heads, and do nothing about it, because no one ever showed them the actual numbers in a way their ancient brain could feel. The next video is going to do exactly that, and what you see is going to make you feel something about the years already behind you, and something very different about every year still ahead. You do not want to miss that. You came here because money felt like a problem without a solution. The truth is, the solution was always inside the problem. Your brain was keeping you broke, and now that you can see it, your brain is the way out.